big race. Every year the Test of Metal descends on Squamish, and this is how festival organizers say thanks. On today's show,
the pre-test party was created to give back to the community.
Decorating bikes for the Test of Metal showdown. Then what are Olympic athletes from the Canadian National Luge Team doing back in Whistler?
They call it a recruitment camp, but let's just call it a learn to luge camp.
And getting jazzed up for the Squamish Equinox Rock Festival.
We just go to a friend's apartment, bring a stand-up bass, drums, guitar, saxophones, trumpets, and play until the neighbors get angry.
Local expression, join us for the Express. Welcome to the Express on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Nicole Fitzgerald. The pre-test party, a Test of Metal thank you to the community, not to mention the perfect showcase to show off your bike. Our next story shows off a different kind of sport. Traveling at 150 plus kilometers an hour down a thin sheet of ice, luge is definitely an extreme sport, but everyone's got to start somewhere.
I do soccer, taekwondo, and I want to just try something new for a change.
And that's why 8-year-old Dorita Mangotti suited up for a school day with the Canadian National Luge Team at Myrtle Philip Elementary School.
It felt really scary at first, but when I went down it seemed really fun. And I wanted to do it again, and I might ask my parents if I could try it out.
Did you guys like that video?
Dorita's sentiments are exactly what Olympian Jeff Christie wants to hear, because that is what today's Luge Camp School Tour is all about. An introduction to luge that will hopefully get kids taking advantage of the Whistler Sliding Centre, a legacy from the 2010 Winter Olympic Games.
This is where your first luge experience happens. How'd you start skiing? Well, I just started going down the hill. How'd you start biking? Well, I started biking. I just hopped on it. So, how do you start luging? Well, you just hop on the sled. Is it that easy to do? You bet it is.
In addition to the ramp setup, other team members such as 2011 World Cup gold medalist Alex Go broke down the components of a luge sled, as well as the equipment the team wears.
So we also have pads on our hands. Really it is. It's just learn what luge is. Learn the fun, learn the enjoyment, and see if you want to take it from there.
Assemblies like this will hopefully encourage kids to take advantage of the luge recruitment camps this summer at the Whistler Sliding Centre on July 16th, August 27th, and September 17th. The only qualifications a child will need is a desire to learn.
And they're going to give you an opportunity to have your first try in luge. We didn't start saying we're going to the Olympics. That's kind of the message that we want to get across today is come out and give it a try. Whether it's you do it for 1 season, 2 seasons, whatever, or if it leads you right to the Olympics in 2022, it doesn't matter. Let's just give it a shot.
Some audience members have already done so.
Oh yeah, I've seen them quite a few times. One of them, Sam, he was our coach, and when we went to Calgary.
You know when your plans are? Like, do you have a schedule yet for the year? Or?
I don't think so, but I think we're coming up to Calgary like twice.
Reid Watts, along with 2 other Myrtle Philip Elementary School students, are members of the BC Development Luge Team.
My dad took me to watch the bobsleds. I thought it was incredible, and it was just so cool just watching them bullet down. My mom signed me up because I just kept coming here and took the first run, and I fell in love.
Whether on runners or rollers, falling in love with luge is what this steadily growing sliding community aims to do. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV. Both youth and adults can join in the fun. The Whistler Sliding Centre offers personal daily tours starting July 1st. Well, the community wants to put their best pedal forward, so they're decorating their bikes. Another festival you don't want to miss in Squamish, the Squamish Equinox Rock Festival, more lovingly known among these parts as SERF.
It probably became like a true passion when I heard AC/DC, and I heard Angus Young, and I really liked him when I was like 11 and 12. So I learned all his solos, so that was when I started like really practicing a lot.
Who hasn't dreamt of being a rock star? Scott was given his mum's acoustic guitar when he was 8 years old, and it was love at first sight. But as Scott has matured, rock has taken a back seat to a slightly different music scene.
All my friends were playing jazz, and I never really gave it a chance when I was younger. I used to think it was boring and soft all the time, but it can be just as aggressive as rock, so that got me into it.
Among his heroes, he lists Pam Athene, John Schofield and Mike Stern, as well as horn players like John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins. This is not a hobby, but a passion for good music.
Like on a Friday night, we just go to a friend's apartment, bring a stand-up bass, drums, guitar, saxophones, trumpets, and play until the neighbors get angry.
But it's not just enthusiasm that has got him this far. He is now in his second year at the Berkley School of Music in Boston, where his teachers and peers inspire him to further explore the world of jazz.
I have 3 more years left of school, and I have lots to learn. I have lots of amazing teachers, so I'm just going to try and improve as much as I can before the end of it.
As well as performing locally, Scott enjoys sharing all things guitar and teaches children and adults alike.
Teaching is really fun, especially when kids get really into it and I see them improve quickly. Because I remember being in the same boat when things would be really tricky. And then one day they come back and surprise me and play something perfect that we've been working on.
From rock bands to jazz performances, Scott is a well-rounded guitarist who hopes that people at this year's SERF Festival will find the groove.
I'm playing at the Squamish SERF Festival with a buddy from the school I go to, Berkeley. We're playing songs that are kind of quirky and fun to listen to instead of really serious. Some of the stuff is kind of funky.
I'm sure audiences will love Scott's eclectic jazzy style. This is Dee Raffo for Shore TV, enjoying the sounds in Squamish.
If you missed out on Surf Fest this Saturday, June 25th, don't worry about it. You can check out Scott's music on his website. Every year, the Testamental transforms Squamish into a fat tire frenzy, and organizers want to say thanks.
Here we go. Old MacDonald had a heart. E-I-E-I-O.
Bikes are really cool, and as you can see, so many people out there riding 2 wheels, 1 wheel, 3 wheels, it doesn't really matter.
We've got our own mini Testamental race going on here. Have you got any tips for these little guys?
Well, I think you should just keep on your bike and pedal really hard.
All right, a good tip. Sounds good. We'll give it a go. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm bad at
The pre-test party was created to give back to the community. The Testamental Incorporated wanted to do something to show Squamish. They're so happy that everybody comes out and takes part in their event.
Today's party is celebrating all different kinds of bikes, and you have a very unique one here. How did you get involved with unicycling?
Well, I got my first unicycle for Christmas, and eventually I learned how to ride on the first day, and I saw this guy on YouTube named Chris Holm, and thought wow, that's pretty cool, riding mountain bike trails, and I mountain bike already, so I tried out mountain biking, and...
You can mountain bike on this?
Yeah.
On single track?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have 2 different live performances. We have Carolyn Grass and Friends, and we also have the funny bike races. We have Mishmash Play and Learn out doing bike decorating. Lisa Dixon's doing the mini bike trials, and we also have Party Perfect out.
We've got 8 wheels going on here at the pre-Testamental party, and how can people get involved with roller derby here in Squamish?
If people want to get involved with roller derby in Squamish, a great way to find us is on Facebook at Squamish Women's Roller Derby or online at squamishwomensrollerderby.com.
How big has the team grown?
Right now we've got 14 girls that are all skills tested and playing, and we've got about 7 more that are brand new and learning the game.
Well, it's just another way to play on wheels. Dozens of volunteers and businesses have come together for the pre-test party. The Test Medal really illustrates what the spirit of Squamish is all about. Next, it's time to switch gears from activities to arts. Still to come, a yummy arts display fit for a king, the king of Canadian lounge music.
People were talking about the dress that Paintertainment created for Michael Bublé's wedding.
And dragon boating instills newfound confidence.
Anyone can do it, I think, if they have MS or not.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Artina's handcrafted Canadian jewelry, 387 Water Street in Gastown and Government Street in Victoria.
Welcome back to the pre-test medal party in Squamish. I'm your host, Nicole Fitzgerald, and you're watching The Express. There are many ways to make food look tantalizing. Quality of ingredients, plate presentation, or in our next case, showcasing sweets on a beautiful woman.
The party starts when Paintertainment gets there.
Do a decorative edge to your gloves.
Husband and wife duo Carrie and Paulo use costuming, airbrushing, makeup, and props to create outfits like this.
Candy seems to be quite a popular thing at events right now, so they usually have candy on a table somewhere in an event. This way we can actually dress somebody up to look spectacular, be very animated, part of the party, and stroll your event and serve while she's going. And so we're going to be turning her into an amazing, it's a candy carousel strolling table, and as she turns it looks like a carousel. We've got all airbrushed horses, everything's handmade, hand painted, everything we do is one of a kind.
It's really good fun because you always have something to talk about because you're dressed in a crazy outfit, and it's basically a conversation starter. And yeah, one of my main jobs is just to be polite and chat to people about whatever they want to talk about.
And recently, people were talking about the dress that Paintertainment created for Michael Bublé's wedding.
I really like the cupcake dress that we just did. That was one of my favorites because it's combined the whole, you know, strolling table, and I look like a princess as well.
What we do like to do is create new costumes. So we will create anything that the customer wants. They're all custom made, and we like to have our touch in it. So most of the costumes will have some painting on it. They will have some airbrushing. They will have stitching and sewing and glue gunning.
We love to be creative, and we love the fact I don't really like the spotlight, but I love having my very own Barbie doll that I can dress up. She gets to an event and she just wows everybody, and it's quite an unusual thing to have at all these events, but very spectacular and lots of fun.
Hello, what have you got here?
Sweeties, would you like one?
Lovely, I would love one.
I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
From arts to bikes to dragon boating, it's going to be a big summer. This week's adventure takes us to Victoria, where crews are readying for the Victoria Dragon Boat Festival, a challenging race in more ways than one for this team.
Big Summer is brought to you by Cultus Lake Water Park, BC's #1 water park.
It's in their feet, their legs, their arms, and their hands. You can't see it, but each step, each stretch, and even each smile can be painful.
There's pain in the legs, like, shooting pains up and down. It's hard to walk. Balance can go off. Your speech can be slurred. You sound like a drunk.
And when the pain takes over, a cane or a chair is there for support. But the pain isn't stopping these warriors. Whatever challenges they face on and off the water, they battle head on.
They can do it, we can do it. So that's the whole thing, and we're just so blessed to be out there and being able to enjoy it.
This dragon boat team has been competing since 2007, and it may be hard to believe, but most of the 24 paddlers has multiple sclerosis.
It's just something we never thought we could do, and everyone is sort of blown away by that we can actually get in there and do it.
MS can affect anyone through the central nervous system, and anyone can do it, I think, if they have MS or not.
These are the MS Warriors, one of 90 teams competing in this summer's Dragon Boat Festival in the Inner Harbor. They call the water their happy place because when they're paddling, they can forget about the symptoms of MS like fatigue, dizziness, and difficulty balancing.
Everybody ready? We got a full boat here, so everybody tight to the gunnels.
So it is possible, and we get tired, but we're also told, we know that we can pull into the boat, pull the paddle in and rest for a few minutes out there if you're getting tired or you can't do it.
Paddles up!
Although the team looks like any other dragon boating team, each paddler is using every ounce of energy they can muster.
Need that reach.
Some can hardly hold their paddles, and you may end up seeing that in the boat, whereas some can just hang on to their paddle. In our boat, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much effort, it doesn't matter how much power you've got into the boat. The fact that you're willing to get into the boat and participate, that's all that's really needed.
Just take Sue Reid, who has had the disease for 23 years. She says knowing you're sharing the boat with other MS patients is empowering.
Each day is a new adventure, is the way I say it, and everybody gets that, and we all support each other. So we know if someone's having a bit of a weaker day, physically, then we just support them.
The Victoria Dragon Boat Festival Society kicked off the 17th annual festival Tuesday. The event is expected to draw thousands of people to Victoria's Inner Harbor from August 12th to the 14th.
The festival draws up to 90,000 attendees to Victoria's downtown core, and it helps to build local community spirit, providing a fun, free, family event for everyone to enjoy.
Here we go, good.
Back on the water, the MS Warriors are planning to compete hard. It may not be a gold medal year like in 2008, but it's more than just winning.
It's like a whole new life for all of us. It really has been pretty much like a miracle for the whole team. It really has.
The Dragon Boat Festival has been raising money for the BC Cancer Foundation for the last 4 years. And last year, the festival raised more than $80,000. This year, the goal is more than $100,000. I'm Nikki Iwanishin for Big Summer.
Big Summer is brought to you by Cultus Lake Water Park, BC's #1 water park. The Victoria Dragon Boat Festival takes place August 12th to 14th. And congratulations to a local paddler. Pemberton's Kayla Spencer recently joined the Canadian National Dragon Boat Team. Stay tuned, we've got more local stories coming your way. After the break, step into Whistler history with the Whistler Museum. You never know what you'll learn.
It kind of encompasses the history of Whistler as a whole.
This is Max. Like many bears, Max is curious. What he found was a bear buffet. One day, Max became brazen, trying to get an easy meal, and ended up in conflict with people. Max was in real danger. The good news is, by removing the attractant, you remove the bear and the problem. Let's teach bears to stay away, rather than inviting them to come and stay.
Welcome back to the Express on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Nicole Fitzgerald. It's the pre-Testa Medal Party. It's everything bikes, from mini trials to unicycling. It's a night of one- and two-wheeling fun. Four-wheeling is up next. This week's road trip takes us to Galliano Island.
Travel along with us on the Quality Assured Collision Road Trip as we explore the many marvelous attractions and activities of beautiful British Columbia.
It's an island paradise. Just down the road on Galliano Island, you'll discover fabulous scenery, wildlife, art, and some really great restaurants, like La Bergerie, which is located on the south end of the island near Montague Harbor. And it's a favorite of celebrities, like Jane Fonda.
It's been here for 30 years, run by Huguette, the owner. As of this year, myself, her son would play the violin in here, and they'd have live music and lots of locals and boaters from Montague, and yeah, just a nice little French restaurant with a twist.
The restaurant is filled with local art and has a B&B upstairs. In the summer, they open up their outdoor cafe where you can catch some live music or poetry readings. And just a few blocks away is Montague Marina, where you can find everything from yachts to kayaks.
It's the best place on the West Coast to kayak year-round. It's the only place where you can find consistent sun and lack of wind in the off-season.
There's lots of wildlife in this area, like this little mink swimming around. You'll also see birds, seals, eagles, and of course, whales.
Galliano, just standing at Bluff Park or going out in a kayak, is probably one of the best places in the world to see orcas.
And just down from the marina is Montague Provincial Park and Campground, a beautiful place to beachcomb or pitch a tent. But if roughing it isn't your thing, Galliano also has many B&Bs, cabins, and a luxurious hotel and spa. And if you want to leave your car behind, go ahead.
We have some lovely smart cars you can use to drive around, and we have on the island, we have mopeds, we have kayaks, we have bicycles, lots of ways to get around.
You can't miss the inn. You can see it from the ferry dock in Sturdy's Bay Village, where you will also find a variety of stores, many of which feature local artists.
I've got a line of aromatherapy. It's all made on Galliano.
From hats to socks to some pretty good art, there's really something for everyone. Sturdy's Bay Village also boasts one-of-a-kind eateries and a wonderful bookstore.
The bookstore is probably the best little bookstore in the world. That's how I call it. It has about 20,000 titles in tiny little 800 square foot prints.
And here's a great way to wrap up your trip to Galliano. Just park your car at the ferry terminal, wander over to the restaurant, eat, and sit on the outdoor patio and enjoy some wood oven pizza. And the staff will let you know when the ferry's coming. No stress. And if you want to walk on the ferry and just come to Galliano for a day, well, there's complimentary bus service in the summer. And it is an easy island to enjoy by foot.
You can come here, you can enjoy the beaches, you can walk the trails, you can walk from here to Bell House Park, you can walk from here to the top of the bluffs, you can walk, take longer walks to Mount Galliano, and you might be the only person on the trail that day. It's really beautiful.
From Galliano Island for Quality Assured Collision Road Trip, I'm Karen Elgersma.
Entertaining and informative, the Quality Assured Collision Road Trip. Weekends on Shaw TV. Always something new and exciting.
A little closer to home, Squamish welcomed 1,000 riders who conquered more than 36 kilometers of grueling single track. Tonight's party is a kickoff for weekend celebrations. Other things to do in the sea to sky? Why not try a walking tour with the Whistler Museum? Later on in the show, locations in Whistler Village that are deeply rooted to the town's history. Another long-standing tradition in Whistler, WAG. The local animal shelter has been serving animals in the sea to sky for more than 25 years. Let's see who's up for adoption this week.
Hi, welcome to the Squamish SPCA. I'm just showing you some of the animals that we have up for adoption. This here is Puzzle. She is one of our 1-year-old tortoiseshell females that we have up for adoption. She's quite small, as you can tell. She'd be a good family cat. She's not a huge fan of the other cats, so a solo cat would be best for her. This here is Simi. She's one of our younger females we have. She is around 2 years old. She's a little bit more on the quiet side. She won't come out looking for attention, but she doesn't mind some treats and some pets. She'd make a great cat for more of a quiet home.
Hi, welcome to Wagon Whistler. Here's a few of the pets that we have up for adoption. This is Bentley. He's a 12-week-old puppy that was found in Seton Portage. He loves getting cuddles, but he is quite shy. So this is Sophie. She is a really nice cat. She'd make a lovely family cat. She is a long hair, so we're looking for someone who can brush her hair all the time.
Love pets, love animals. The SPCA and WAG are always looking for volunteers to care for the Sea to Sky's cutest residents. Another way you can help out your local animal shelters, bring your pooch down to the WAG Dog Wash, July 24th at the Bubbles Dog Spa. Next, do you know how Blackcomb got its name? And did you know that Whistler Village and the Olympic Athlete Village was built on a garbage dump? You'll learn this and more on a Whistler Museum walking tour.
How's it going today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm Jessica.
Hey, Jeff.
Awesome.
You here for the walking tours?
I am.
It's a neat way to explore the local history. You can walk around and see the village, and it takes the history outside of the museum and into the actual settings where a lot of the stories we're talking about were made. If we're ready to go, then we can go and explore Whistler's history through the streets.
Every day at 1 p.m., the Valley of Dreams tour leaves from the Whistler Visitor Center. From Olympic dreams to miners seeking out copper, people have been drawn to the Valley of Whistler for over 100 years. The Whistler Museum summer walking tours uncover the history that has made Whistler what it is today.
It kind of encompasses the history of Whistler as a whole. It went from really humble beginnings, this kind of backwoods valley full of loggers, to now the largest ski resort in North America, and it took a lot of vision. A lot of different dreamers kind of left their imprint on the valley. So here we are in Skiers Plaza, the base of Blackcomb and Whistler Mountains.
Stopping at the base of Whistler and Blackcomb Mountains, it's hard to imagine the landscape without the lift access and a busy bike park. A lot has changed in the last 30 years.
The original plan was to have lifts all over Whistler Mountain, so on the creek side as well as on the north face, but they couldn't do that because there was actual miners still had claims on the north slopes of Whistler Mountain. So here we are at Fitzsimmons Creek.
Evidence of those mining claims can still be found, and maybe even the remnants of a cabin.
And there is actually a trail going all the way up the Fitzsimmons Creek Valley, following what is today the Singing Pass Trail. There was a trapper that had a cabin up near Singing Pass, and there were local miners that even hoped to find the tail end of the Britannia Mines copper. So we're going to head back to the village now.
Post-mining claims and pre-development of what is now the village, a garbage dump occupied the very pathways that our town follows, and it comes with stories of its own.
So when this was still the dump, a popular activity was on Sunday nights, people would grab a case of beer and come here after dinner because everyone would jump their garbage off, and this would be teeming with bears, and it was the best spot to find bears in the valley. They'd just be walking around having their Sunday night snacks. This plaza is where they had the awards ceremonies for the Olympics in 2010.
The stories of Whistler include visionaries and fun seekers, all making the town what it is today, a world-class resort that has made its Olympic dreams a reality.
The community now is at a really interesting point because after all these decades, we finally succeeded in hosting the Olympics, and now we're kind of left wondering what's next. Where do we go from here? And so it's an interesting and exciting time for Whistler. All right, so that's it for the tour today, guys. Thanks a lot for coming out.
Only history will tell the next chapter of Whistler's story. From Whistler Village, I'm Jessica Turner for Shaw TV.
It's probably a perfect time to head into the museum now to check out some of the exhibits.
The Whistler Museum is open daily from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Be sure to check out their new Olympic exhibit. You can pick up an Olympic torch, or you could even try on an official volunteer uniform. We've covered the past and the present here at the Pre-Tested Metal Party. The Express Spotlight has our future in mind. Get your local dose of veggies every Tuesday in Squamish. Grown, baked, and made right at home, the Squamish Farmers Market invites the community to eat local. Make a 60-second triathlon video, post it to YouTube, and win lifetime entries to the Squamish Triathlon. Videos should promote healthy lifestyle and sportsmanship. The deadline is July 10th. Take a bite out of farm fine dining. Araxi partners with North Arm Farm to host the Long Table Series in Pemberton, where ingredients are grown just footsteps from executive chef James Walt's outdoor kitchen. Celebrate oysters as chefs square off at the Barefoot Bistro World Oyster Invitational 2011. More than $8,000 in cash prizes will be awarded. $5,000 to the top shucker. Squamish is always on the move, and the Pre-Tested Metal Party definitely celebrates that. And that wraps up this week's show. If you'd like to see your story idea on the Express, drop us a line at sea2skyexpress@shaw.ca. You can also watch our show online at shawtv.com. Join us next week. We're celebrating National Aboriginal Week. So until then, from all of us on Shaw TV, thanks for watching.
Nicole Fitzgerald's wardrobe provided by Peak Performance. Hairstyling by The Loft Salon.
and makeup provided by Beauty Mark.
POV camera, courtesy of Contour.
While filming on the mountain, parking provided by the Fire Rock Lounge.